The object of our wants is ultimately a psychological experience of happiness without any regard to what makes us happy. This is a quote from John Piper's When I Don't Desire book, and I love this book because it is something that I can personally relate with. The past 5, 7 years of my life, I've struggled with joy so much that I felt during that season that I wasn't alive. I was existing but not living. And this quote that I picked was specifically is something that we all experience. That what we want is joy. That our pursuit in life is joy. And there's nothing wrong with that. Joy is a good thing. It's not an evil statement to want joy. When you reflect back on all the things that you have pursued for joy, you will realize that what people really want is the experience of happiness, regardless of whatever that object of happiness is. Now, I experienced this because when I was struggling with joy, I tried having new piercings. I've had my first tattoo. I've dyed my hair like really bleach hair, and I tried these things because at that moment when I did those new things, it felt as if I was living, but then just for a moment, and then those things expires, and then those things fluctuates, and then those things eventually disappears, and then I'm back to zero again on my pursuit for joy. And I realized that this is what Jesus meant in John 15:11. He said, I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. What I realized is that God knows that our joy on earth will never be complete. God knows that our joy on earth is never filled, it's never full, it's never satisfied forever. And that the reason why God spoke his promises, all these things to give us hope, that while we are on earth waiting for his promises, we will be experiencing the joy. And this joy, what he said here, is not the joy on the things that we acquire in life, but it is the joy that is coming from him. He said, I have told you this so that my joy may be in you. The joy that Jesus has will be in us. That is why he said his promises to us, because Jesus wants us to experience the joy that he experiences. And then when we experience his joy, our joy will be complete. So the missing piece in our heart to experience this full joy is to know what causes Jesus to be joyful in his heart. Now let me read Hebrews 12 verse 2, and it says here, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. You know, this is why Jesus has endured all those suffering in order for us to give that free gift of salvation. It is because of that joy that is awaiting him in heaven. And this is what Jesus meant in the verse John 15:11. This is the joy that he has. This is the joy that is waiting for him in heaven, to be with the Father again in heaven. And this is the joy that Jesus is saying in John 15:11. That Jesus said all these things so that his joy would be in us, and that our joy will be complete. The reason why we don't experience joy is because we are looking at from different things that don't offer that long-lasting happiness or joy. And God said, Jesus said, that his joy is something that would complete our longing for joy in John 15:11. When we share that same joy with Jesus, our joy will be complete. Because the fullness of joy is in the presence of God. Psalms 16:11. There is nothing wrong with wanting to feel happiness. there is nothing wrong with pursuit of joy. But if you set your course in pursuing joy in different things, expecting that they would give us long lasting joy, we would always be disappointed. But if we set our mind on pursuing joy in God, then we will not be disappointed, because the fullness of joy is in the presence of God. Psalms 16:11. God bless everyone.